All right, so today is Thursday, December the 27th, and this is Darnyelle, and I'm excited to be here with you. If you are, well, I guess you guys are all watching me online, so you should all be in a position to take a moment and just rest your head and just rest in the goodness and grace of God as I start us with a word of prayer. Lord God, we just thank you. Just first and foremost, we thank you for this season. Oh, I honor you. I honor you, God. I honor you for all that you have done. I honor you for all that you are doing. I honor you for all that you will do. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. God, I thank you for these, your servants who have gathered here, those who are currently under the sound of my voice and those who will listen to this training back in the recording. I honor you for each and every one of them, Lord. And I just ask that you would bless their press, that no matter what it is that 18 has been for them, no matter what, even this week, and everything that comes along with the holiday and celebration of your son, Jesus, everything that's come along, good, bad, ugly, indifferent, everything that brings them to this moment, we honor you and we praise you, even for those things that maybe weren't the most powerful, most whatever things, the things that weren't positive. We thank you for all of that because we know that it's all working together for our good. Lord, I thank you for being on this day at this time in this place with an opportunity to praise you, because I know that that is really all that you desire, is to get the glory from our lives and from our existences. Lord, you know exactly what it is that they all stand in need of, one by one, name by name. I ask right now, Lord, that you would just dispatch your available angels to their side to help to meet the needs that they have, Lord, the needs that are the needs that they cannot get on their own, Lord, for we know that you have already equipped us and gifted us with talents and abilities that would allow us to have access to all the things that we want, Lord. So not those things, because the power is within us to do, but for the things that we need you for, Lord, we just ask right now that you would just dispatch your available angels to their side. Lord, I ask that during this time together, that you would just remove anything that is not of you. Lord, you say in your word, that which is bound on earth shall be bound in heaven. So I ask that you would bind fear, frustration, overwhelm, doubt, insecurities, inconsistency, comparison. I ask that you will bind all of that right now in the name of Jesus. And in this place, Lord, I ask that you would loose clarity and confidence and commitments and consistency and just a determination that that which you have begun shall be complete, God. We just thank you in advance for completion, God. We thank you for your word. We thank you for your promise. We thank you for all that is coming down the pike. We thank you for all that 2018 has been, and we honor you and we praise you in advance for all that 2019 promises to be. We thank you. We love you. We honor you. Touch where they need to be touched. Meet the need that needs to be met. Unlock the mindsets, the thoughts, the actions that need to be taken. Unlock all of that so that they can just get busy doing the work that you have called for them to do. We love you, we honor you, and we thank you for these and all things in your name. Amen. So I'm excited. I'm excited to be here with you guys. I'm excited because, as I started to say before we got started, this training really just came out of obedience, to be quite honest. If you have followed me for the amount of time that I've been in business, then you know that Sister Girl is real quiet the week between Christmas and New Year's. And I'm quiet for a couple of reasons. Number one, I'm typically fasting and seeking God for clarity, unapologetic clarity for myself. We're going to talk a little bit about that, what that would look like for you and how you can get it for yourself. I'm also finalizing the plan that I have for my own business. And then last but not least, I'm taking a little bit of downtime at the end of the year to get ready for the whirlwind. My business doesn't really get much stop. I'm right back at it. Like January the 8th, I'm on a plane. I'm right back at it. I don't get a major break, and I'm really grateful for that. But I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to share with you. I prepared a PowerPoint presentation, which I'm going to switch to in just a minute. I see people still coming in. Hello, hello, hello. But I just wanted to, before I even start, I wanted to share my heart and my impetus for putting together this last minute training. And the topic again is 5 things you need to leave in 2018 so that you break through in your business in 2019, even if 2018 was your best year yet. So I'm excited because 2018 for me was a year of extreme clarity. So 2017 was probably the last year of brokenness that I'm planning to ever experience in my life. And a lot of things were broken in my life, 15, 16, and 17. I spent a lot of time trying to get things back to where I knew that they should be, right? So one of the questions I'm going to ask you when we get to the PowerPoint is, how many of you know that your life right now is not representative of what you know is supposed to be, right? So if this were 2017, I would have my hand up, because I was in a space in 2017 where I was very confused. I was very inconsistent. Fear and doubt for the first time in my life in a long time was creeping back in. And I knew I was out of alignment. I knew that I wasn't where I really needed to be in order to be effectively used by God. And I made a promise to God when I decided to do this work, when he tapped me on the shoulder, pulled me out of Mary Kay Cosmetics and said, that's been great, but that's not what I called you to. That's not what I made you for. And I decided to do this work. I made a promise to him that if my life would be an example of what's possible when you are in relationship, in alignment with God, and if every area of my life exuded that, then I would never keep it to myself. And that's probably why, for those of you who have been following me for a period of time, you might have known, maybe, perhaps, perchance, that I was a believer and I love God and I love Jesus and all of that, but you didn't hear me talking about it openly. And then all of a sudden, it was like I turned the light switch on, and it kind of took on a life of its own. And that's because I made a promise and a commitment to God. And part of that for me was about getting my life into alignment, right? So I'm going to talk to you about seeing yourself the way God sees you. That is probably one of my most powerful revelations that I had in 2018. Seeing myself the way that God sees me. So catch this. I want you to just try this on for a second. And in fact, if you have pen and paper, I would love it if you wrote it down, or if you feel so inspired to even share it in the chat, either just to me or to everyone. If you share it just to me, I won't say it verbally, but if you put it in the chat, I might say it out to everybody. But I want you to just imagine if you saw yourself the way God sees you. How would your life, how would your business, how would your relationships with your children, if you have children, your spouse, your friends, your clients, how would those things be different if you saw yourself the way that God sees you? Well, at the top of 2018, I knew some things had to change. I knew that who I am, Darnyelle Antoinette, I wasn't really Darnyelle Antoinette anymore because I changed my name because I had gotten married. But I know that who I was created to be, I wasn't living that. It wasn't oozing out of my pores. There were still places where I was afraid. There were still places where I thought I might be judged. There was still opinions of other people that were taking on a life of their own in 2017. I was held back. I was stuck in a lot of ways, and it showed up in every way in my life, probably with the exception of my relationship. That was probably the only place it really didn't show up. But everywhere else, it was showing up, and it was oozing out of my business. And so I felt incongruent. I felt out of integrity. I felt like I was a liar. I felt like I was making a promise to people that I wasn't keeping, and it didn't feel good. And so I went on to do the work. And this is probably the biggest thing that I want you to take away from our time together, is that I decided to do my work. And by doing my work, I experienced an extreme amount of clarity. And I realized that and I know those of you who are believers, and I know that you know this, the Bible says only what you do for Christ will last, right? And although, just so I'm clear, and it's probably in my presentation, so you'll hear me say it again, because right now I'm just talking from my heart. Just so we're clear, like I I subscribe to the doctrines of Christianity, and it might sound weird for me to say it that way, but here's why I say it the way that I'm saying it. I subscribe to the doctrines of Christianity. I believe in God and love God with everything that I am, but I'm about relationship and not about religion. So I'm not a person who's going to hit you with religiosity. I'm going to talk to you about relationship and how relationship with God unlocks everything for you. And see, you guys are on this call because your business isn't manifesting the things that you want, right? You're not getting what you want. And some of you feel guilty that you even want them. But there's something again, just before I even get into my slides, that I want you to know is that God is not the God of withhold. God is not holding anything back from you. And the mere fact that you want what it is that you want is because God is that good. He wants you to have it, right? Because if he's not holding anything back from you and everything you want is here, it's here to be an example of what's possible for you if you would line up, if you would get into alignment. And so that's what 17 and the start of 18 was all about for me. That was the reason why I created my new event, Breakthrough in Business, which we're not really talking about that, but just for the sake of the example. But if you have not been, y'all need to join us in 2019. It's going to be all the way live. But the reason why the Breakthrough event was created was out of sheer necessity to share what I am learning about what it means to be with God and what it means to be unapologetic about the spirit of God that lives in you, and how to get the things that you want, how to unlock it all, whatever it is, materialistic stuff, the relationships, the growth in your business, the money in your bank account, because let's just keep it all the way live and all the way real, right? If we are in business, it's because we want to make money. Ain't none of us in business to struggle or to settle or to just get by. We are all in business to have more than enough, more than we need to spend, to give, to invest, or to save, right? And if we have money, we want it to mean something. Like I went out on Saturday, I think it was, and I went to Walmart. I do this every year. I've been doing it for the last 7 years. I'll always go to Walmart and I will either pay off a layaway or something like that. Well, this year I didn't pay off any layaways, but I bought 5 gift cards, and I just walked around the store and I prayed to God. And when God told me to release it, I released it, and I just bless people. That's why as entrepreneurs who have money, and we need to have money so that we can be a blessing to other people. Do you know how many lives you can change if you have a business that serves you in every possible way, right? And I just want to be really clear right now, that's what this is all about. We're talking about your life because of your business. And what I'm going to share with you as I go into the slides in a few minutes is so that things can start to line up. Because until you get into alignment, until you see yourself the way God sees you, you will struggle. And that was why Breakthrough is not an event about marketing and sales strategy. I share a smidge of business on day 3, but Breakthrough is about what I call the Breakthrough Blueprint, running the sequence and the steps of how to get yourself right, how to get spiritually in alignment and attuned so that you can get all of the things that God wants to give to you, right? Because he's not holding anything back from you, right? So if you want a new car, if you want a bigger business, if you want more clients, you want to make more money, you want to have a bigger house, you want to have whatever, it's God's desire for you to have it, right? So here's what I know. I know God is love and God is abundance. He's not all of that negative stuff that religion puts in the way, right? And that's why I say I subscribe to the doctrines of Christianity and not the religiosity of Christianity, right? Because that stuff isn't God. And I don't want to get into that necessarily today unless God takes me there. But I just want to be clear with you that what I'm going to share with you, what this training is really all about, is about helping you to see that this is where you are now, this is where you want to be, and there's a gap in between. The gap are the things you need to get rid of that you can't take with you into 2019 because they're going to keep you from being where you want to be. And it is God's desire that you be where you want to be, because that's how he gets the glory, right? He only gets the glory when we are happy and we are unafraid and unapologetic to speak his name and to sing his praises and to share our hearts and our minds and our spirits with other people. That's the only way that he gets the glory. And that's what it's all about. It's about him getting the glory. And so as I realized this in my own life, as I stepped into recognizing the responsibility that had been placed on me because I said, yes, I would do this work, it became increasingly important to tell the truth. And that you don't have to choose, right? You don't have to have one or the other. Because see, I used to think I had to choose. I didn't think I could have it all. But that's not God. God is a God of all. He's not a God of withhold. He's not a God of something sometimes, right? So as we jump into this training, I'm about to turn the slides on in just a second, I just wanted to just share my heart with you. Again, this I'm not selling you anything. This is completely free. This is my gift to you. I will open up an opportunity if anybody wants to talk to me about their business for you to get on my calendar for us to have a discovery call, but I'm not making any offer. There is no, there's nothing to buy right now. This is just my gift to you. This is me being in full obedience to what God said, because I want you to break through. I want you to let go of the things that are keeping you from having everything that it is that you want. I also want to allow some time for questions. So if you have questions, don't put them in the chat yet, but I will tell you when you can put your questions in the chat, or maybe I'll just even open your lines and you can ask me your questions live. But without further ado, let's just jump in. Let me share my screen with you. And some of the things that are in my slides I've already said, so just bear with me because I created the slides before I knew I was going to go through all of that. And welcome to everyone else who's here. We have record numbers joining us, which I'm so super excited about. This is awesome. All right, so let me find my slides. So here we go, right here. And let's hit share, and then let's do this. And let's hope. Okay, so I hope you guys can see me in the corner, but you can also see the slides. So again, we're talking about 5 things to leave in 2018 so that you break through in your business in 2019, even if 2018 was your best year yet. And I pray that this year was really, really great for you. But I know that there's more. There's always more, right? Because abundance is infinite. There's always more that is waiting for you. So I'm excited to welcome you to this masterclass. I'm excited to just share with you what's on my heart and what I think is really, really important for you to know as we go into the new year. And I think that it is also really important for you guys to understand that 19 means surrender. That's the spiritual meaning of the word 19. So in order for you to take your rightful place and to get access to everything it is that has been earmarked and reserved for you, it's going to require for you to put your hands up. It's going to require for you to take your hands out of it. It's going to require for you to lose control, right? It's going to require for you to understand that the God that lives in you only wants good for you, right? It's like Romans 8:28 says that all things, not some things, not the things that happen on the fourth Thursday of the month, but all things are working together for your good. And every experience that you've had up until this point, that's why I said even if 2018 was your best year yet, has been designed in order for you to fully surrender in 2019 so that you can step fully into everything that it is that God has for you. And let me just tell you, life begins at surrender. I think I'm going to get t-shirts made that say life begins at surrender, because that's when life begins, when you don't have to be in control. It's part of the reason why in my own business, I stopped chasing the number. And instead, I started to just focus on chasing my purpose and chasing my purpose voraciously with all that I had any moment of any day. It began to change everything. So as we get started, I want you to just repeat after me. I honor the incredible in me. Say that one more time. I honor the incredible in me. Say it one last time. And this time, unless you're in a position where you can't say it out really, really loud, say it like you mean it. I honor the incredible that is within me. And I honor the incredible that is in you as well. So we already said a prayer. So let's jump in. So we're going to do a quick little check-in, make sure you're in the right place. So if you're an entrepreneur who knows that your success, in air quotes, has been held back by things you're either willing and or unwilling to admit, right? So I always say that there's the problem we know we have, There's the problem we're embarrassed to admit. And then there's the problem we don't even know that we have, right? So I'm talking to those of you who know that there are some things in you, there's some stuff that isn't right on your journey and your walk that's keeping you from the things that you want. That's who I'm talking to right now. You're tired of experiencing a fraction of the results that you know that you're capable of, right? Because life and business is congruent. You cannot have a booming business when you have a busted life. It's just not going to happen. And so if you're not getting everything that you want, you're in the right place. If you know that your business should fund the life that you crave, and I use the word crave on purpose. You won't hear me use the word want, because want denotes lack, right? Crave is desire, and desire is vibrating at a higher level. It's an energy force that brings what you want into your life experience, right? So that's why I'm using the word crave. But you know that your business should fund the life that you crave, whatever it is, positive, materialistic, whatever it is. But you know there's something missing because all you crave isn't in your life or business yet, right? Like I can remember when, and some of you may have been at my event in 2015 when I stood on my stage and I talked about I didn't want to be a one-trick pony anymore. And that was right before my now husband showed up in my life. It was my soul crying out for what it is that I knew was missing and was going to keep me from going to the level what God had for me. So everything began to change. If you've been asking yourself what's missing since it's not lining up and you can't figure out what's missing, then you are in the right place. If you're being honest with yourself and you'll tell me that you struggle with some form of fear and it's keeping you from breaking through in a big way, and that's whatever fear, right? So fear of success, fear of failure, fear of rejection, right? They all really boil down to fear of responsibility. But knowing that we're only born with two fears, we're only born with the fear of falling and the fear of loud noise. If you have fear in the way, right? It's like, it's the continuum, right? The highest feelings and emotions are love, gratitude, appreciation, faith, and trust. And the lowest is fear, grief, powerlessness. Well, you can't be in faith and fear at the same time, right? So if fear is in the way, it's keeping you from the things that you want. And I think if we're being honest, we would all be honest that there is some fear somewhere. And then if you're tired of all the noise, right? There's a lot of noise out there. There's a lot of contradiction around what you should and shouldn't do and how you should and shouldn't and blah, blah, blah. All of the noise is confusing you and is contributing to the internal clutter that's keeping you from maximizing, in this particular instance, your cash flow, but maximizing your life, right? Whatever your lifeline is keeping you from maximizing that. So here's what we're going to cover while we're together. The 5 things you didn't realize were keeping you stuck, and maybe you did realize it, but you haven't done anything about it. And stagnant instead of significant and successful, right? Because let me talk to you about what significance looks like. Significance looks like not comparing yourself to other people, marching to the beat of your own drum, being completely unapologetic, and being unconcerned about what other people are doing. But most of you are so busy looking left and right that you're not focused on what it is God has put in your hand to deliver to this planet. And as a result, people are going with their needs unmet because you haven't shown up, right? We're going to talk about the number 1 mistake that you made this year that will keep you locked in a business that bleeds you dry mentally, emotionally, financially, and spiritually if you don't make this shift right now. And we're going to talk about why discounting your services isn't the way to make your business dreams come true. We're going to talk about this because at the end of the day, this is as much about business as it is about your life, and we have to talk about it because your business isn't manifesting what you need to have your best life. It's keeping you stuck, right? I want to talk to you about 3 important considerations for your 2019 sales and revenue plan. I'm going to give you a little bit of business insight as well. And we're going to together make a bold declaration to break through in 2019, whatever that might be for you. And then we're going to talk about why most people who listen to this training will do nothing. And you'll be exactly in the same place if I happen to do the same type of training next year, right? And by the time that we're done, you'll know exactly what you need to change to break through in your business in 2019. That's my hope for you. That's what I'm hoping happens for you. And again, this is my gift to you. I don't have an ulterior motive. like I said, towards the end, I will offer you an opportunity to have a conversation with me if you're serious about getting support to take your life and business to the next level. Yes, your life and business, because if we decide to work together, there's going to be some life work that is done too. We're going to get you into alignment spiritually. That's very, very important to me in the work that I am doing these days. Things you should know about me. Some of this I think you already know, because like I said, I said this at the top of my time, but my relationship with God is everything to me. I said I made him that promise that if he would use my life, every area of my life, as an example of what's possible through knowing him and having faith in him and surrendering to him, that I wouldn't keep it to myself. I would tell other people about it. And I've decided to talk about it specifically in the confines of business, because if you're anything like what it was for me years and years ago, you struggle with thinking you can't, like, you got to have one or the other. You can't have faith and finances. You can only have one or the other, but that's a lie from the pit of hell. We're not even buying into that. I'm going to also encourage you to avoid the I already know that syndrome. I think I say this every single time I'm doing a training. I may not present any new information to you. It's quite possible. I didn't make you a commitment that I was going to tell you something you ain't never heard before. Hopefully what I'm sharing is confirmation for what you already know, so that you can get yourself together and go into 2019 ready to shake the planet. Okay. But I want you to avoid the I already know that syndrome, because that's going to set you up to go unchanged from what it is that I have to share with you. And I don't want that for you. And again, I'm not selling you anything. This is my gift. So let's just do a little bit more checking in. If you are confused by what it means to grow and scale your business, then I want you to put yes, Darnyelle, in the chat. I can't see it right now, but just go ahead and put that in the chat for me. If you know deep down inside that you have no idea how to build your business so that it changes lives and your bank account, put yes, Darnyelle, in the chat. If you are feeling off, overwhelmed, or out of control, put yes in the chat. I see we got the chat is blowing up. If you're disappointed because you're doing everything you know to do, but you're still coming up short, put yes in the chat. Just keep on being honest with me. If you're weary and worn down by the fears that your inner incredible snatcher are filling your head and your heart with, put yes, Darnyelle, in the chat. Girl, help me. Help me. And if you feel bad because you have the nerve to want more than you have right now, put that in the chat. Okay, so let's just deal with that, all of this stuff right now. Because here's the thing. As long as you feel any of these things, you do not see yourself the way God sees you. And if you do not see yourself the way God sees you, you cannot get access to what it is that he has for you. I want to see what y'all saying in the chat. Let me see if it'll let me. Oh, it won't let me see. All right. So will you honestly throw your hands up and admit that you don't know how to get to your next level and you're tired of hustling and grinding in the process to do so? Who'll say yes? Who'll say yes? Yes. Okay. Y'all are like, the chat is blowing up and I love it. Okay. So here's the cool thing. Maybe it's a cool thing. Maybe it's a bad thing. None of those are your real problem. Your problem is that you haven't let go of the 5 things that aren't serving you, keeping you stuck and stagnant and seeking significance. That's the problem. And that's what we're going to talk about, because I don't want 2019 to be like 2018 for you, even if this was your best year yet, right? Even if it was amazing, you know, I think it should always get better. There's always more. There's always more to unfurl. And that's what I want for you. All right. So once you break through, once you clear the decks, you'll wake up each morning, you'll be clear, confident, and committed instead of off, overwhelmed, and out of control, right? That's what'll change. You'll confidently see yourself as the incredible expert that you are, and you'll have a bank account that makes you smile, right? One of my favorite things to do is to look at my bank account, right? I made a decision a long time ago to focus on the deposits, and then the withdrawals wouldn't matter as much. And when I look at my bank account, it makes me feel good. And you'll stop getting caught up in comparison and rock your lane unapologetically. Because listen, there is nobody who does what you do the way you do it. Nobody. There is no comparison to you. You, when you are standing flat-footed, boldly, fully cognizant of your gifts and talents and what you bring to this planet, can't nobody touch you. It's like MC Hammer, can't touch this. Somebody laugh at that because that was real corny. All right, let's keep moving. Oh gosh. What happens when I get off track. You'll start to work way less and you'll start to make way more. I know you can get excited about that. You'll truly fall in love with your business, and it'll allow you to scale your business quickly, even if you haven't made 6 figures yet. This is what I know, right? So that's why I stopped at my big event talking about the marketing and the sales strategy, because the marketing and sales strategy isn't going to help you until you are in alignment and you have broken through. It's not going to change for you until that happens. All right. So in case you don't know who I am, let me just tell you a little bit about myself. So of course, Darnyelle J. Harmon, and I am an award-winning $1 million business growth mentor. And the reason why it's important for you to know that is because I have for consecutive years had $1 million company, but I'm also going to be completely honest and transparent with you. I don't have $1 million company right now. And hopefully the fact that I'm being well, you know what? I don't really care, but I'm keeping it real with you. I don't have $1 million company right now for 2 reasons. Number one, because I stopped chasing the number, and I've spent the last year, 17 and 18, getting myself into alignment and getting things lined up, because being in alignment is much more important than chasing the number. And even though right now my business doesn't do $1 million, I have done it in the past, and we will do it again if we decide. Actually, the plan for 2019 is to go back over $1 million. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you, number one, when I did $1 million, and you may know this story, so bear with me if you do, it wasn't a positive and pleasant experience for me. And the main reason, write this down, is because there was no purpose for it. Money has to have a reason to come in, and to come in a way that it is a help and not a hindrance. And so because I didn't have purpose behind having $1 million company, it created havoc for my life. But it also required me to wake up and to realize that it wasn't really about the money, because God can give you anything He wants. And if you want $1 million business, you can have one. He's not holding anything back from you. And there are legitimate people right now who have $1 million companies that legitimately have $1 million companies, right? That are demonstrative of what's possible for you, because God is no respecter of persons, right? This last year, my business did over $500,000. And I wasn't chasing the number. It wasn't about the number. It was about getting everything primed and positioned in a way so that when I do it again, because I am very clear that I am a $1 million business owner, and I have, tons of money in the bank. We have successfully unlocked 6-figure cash flow, and I have more money than I need for anything that I have. But I'm also very clear that I'm to be an example for other people. And that's why I'm being honest and transparent with you. It's not about lying or faking the funk or leading you to believe. It's not about the impression of increase that Wallace Wattles talks about in his book, The Science of Getting Rich. It's about keeping it real with you, right? So in this day, December the 27th, 2018, I didn't generate $1 million in my business this year, but I also didn't need to, right? So I said this on my Facebook Live that I did last week. I think it was last week. When I had $1 million business without enough expenses, I paid more taxes, and my business wasn't properly set up to support that. So I've spent time over the last year getting my business properly set up to support the things that I want and the things that are important to me, so that when I go back over, like I said, the goal is in 2019 to do so, that I would do it in a way where it served me and it allowed me to be an example for other people. Because when I created $1 million company the first time, and we did it in 2015, 2016, and just shy of it in 2017. Yeah, I wasn't a good representative. I wasn't a good example to follow of what it should look like to have $1 million business. And I was willing to lose it all in order to gain the peace and the clarity and the alignment with God and my purpose. I decided that chasing the money for the sake of chasing the money wasn't important to me. And I hope that's all right. And if it's all right with you, then tell me so in the chat. I'm going to look at the chat eventually once we get through this. I see you guys raising your hand. I'm hoping that's in testifying of the fact that I'm keeping it 100 and being completely real with you. It doesn't serve you for me to lie. And it's not that important to me to pretend as if. I hope that's okay, right? It's not that important to me. I can show you tax returns and bank statements. I can show you my bank account right now and you will see how much money we have. But like, I don't think that really matters. For me, it's about living. It's about living and being a force for God and being in alignment and chasing my purpose and my commitment to do work that would change the lives of other people. The money will come. But I do today have more than enough that I need for anything that I need it for. And having $1 million business this year in 2018 would have been another disservice to me because I would have ended up paying a lot of taxes. And not that I'm trying to avoid paying taxes, just so we're clear, but I would want to be able to have myself be supported in a way that it helps and it doesn't hinder. Oh, you guys are liking it. You guys are liking it. Good. Look, I had to say over here, I had to come and look at this, right? Yes, exactly, Sheila. Exactly. Like, it's just not worth it. It's just not. It is just not worth it. And again, this is from someone who has had $1 million business. You know, Sheila, who made the comment, has $1 million business. But it's just not about that. So anyway, let me move on because we'll be there all day. But I've helped hundreds of entrepreneurs build 6- and 7-figure businesses that are still growing to this day. And I'm like, I have more than enough. Do you guys know that I was in a position to allow my husband to leave his job and come and work with me? He's worked with me for the last 1.5 years in my business. That's how well my business is doing. And you know, we just built this big old 7,700 square foot house, right? You know what? We drive luxury cars. Yeah, like that's how good my business is doing. Just so we're clear. And I'm on a mission to show others how to allow spiritual principles to combine with business growth strategy so that you can really break through to everything that it is that you want. That's who I am. That's what I want you to know about me right now today before we go any further. And you're so welcome. You're so welcome, Shanquetta, right? Thank you, you guys. I'm gonna stop. Seneca, hi, Seneca. I'm gonna stop looking at your notes because we're never gonna get through this training. But I'm so nosy. I just had to see what you were saying. But yeah, I mean, I just have to keep it real. I know that I'm an anomaly in the marketplace. I know that. Like, those of you who've had the pleasure to either, you know, be my student or to be my client, and you've worked with other people, you know the difference, right? It doesn't serve anyone to make stuff up. It's just not worth it. There's so much fullness of life waiting on us. And if we're focused just on a number, we're going to miss it every single time. This is one of the things, this isn't even on my list of things you need to leave in 2018, but this is one of the things that we need to leave in the 2018, honestly. Stop chasing the number. Stop chasing the number. Just stop, right? We're going to stop. We're going to stop chasing the number. All right, let me focus. All right. So, okay, you guys know I got married 11/11/17. That's my husband who, like I said, I was in a position to be able to allow him. He hated his job, and I was in a position to be able to allow him to come and work with me. He's actually going to be leaving the company in 2019 so he can go and do what he loves. He was here with me, and I'm so grateful for it. But I don't think it's fair for me to get to do what I love every single day, and he didn't love it. He wasn't enjoying it as much as I do. I can't blame him for that. So he's going out in search of his purpose and what he's here to do. And I'm happy that the business is doing well enough to support him on his journey to do so. I'm really, really proud of that. And here's our big old house that we just built. I wish I could have had you guys over for Christmas, but next year's decoration is going to be even better than this year. And then this is a picture of me. This is 2015 with clients that are enrolled in our programs. And this was the first year that we did $1 million in the business. And I know, you know, when you look at my life, it looks great. It is pretty great, but it wasn't always that way. This is me with my pink Cadillacs, because prior to starting Incredible One, I was a Mary Kay Pink Cadillac sales director. These are the two that I earned, while I was in Mary Kay. And Mary Kay for me was a wake-up call in a lot of ways. I learned about personal development. I learned about myself and what I was capable of, because do you know I only became a pink Cadillac sales director because I wanted to speak on the stage and tell my story. I don't share that story a lot, but I had something to say, right? Even then I was seeking significance, and I saw, like the Bible says, we overcome by the word of our testimony. I saw my ability to share my story as a way to get my significance. And my national sales director at the time said, well, if you want to speak on the stage, you have to be a top sales director. And so that's why it became my mission to do that. But my success that I had in Mary Kay, it wasn't always that way. It was temporary because I didn't have my purpose. Look, I done spelled the word purpose wrong. I didn't know my purpose for real. And I struggled because I was trying to figure out how to change the world, how to shake the planet. And it was not working. I really wanted to impact lives. And today I am grateful to say that I get to do that. Small scale, sometimes large scale, other times. Like we had record numbers turn out for this training, which I'm really, really excited about. But it's not about the numbers, because God can do anything. If he can take 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread and feed the multitude, and I know, he can do whatever it is that he would want to do, as long as I continue to see myself the way he sees me, and I'm in alignment and I'm in full surrender. So as we jump into what I want to talk to you about today, I want to read this quote to you. So Abraham said this: so if you believe that you must work hard in order to deserve the money that comes to you, then money cannot come to you unless you work hard. Financial success, or any other kind of success, does not require hard work. It requires alignment of thoughts. So one of the things that really needs to change for you going into 2019 is alignment of thought, right? So something you need to leave in 2018, this is not on my list of things for you either, so we're going to have more than 5 things, is the way you see yourself. You're going to have to leave the way you see yourself in 2018. It's just going to have to happen. So let's jump into the business considerations that you need to make. So I want to get the business stuff out of the way so that we can deal with all the other stuff. So the first thing you need to do is you need to get clear on your revenue goals. Okay, so not money just for the sake of money, not the number just for the sake of the number, but what does the number need to be in order for you to do everything that you need to do, right? So based on your metrics and results, not just your goals and dreams and desires, what does the number need to be? People who say I want to have a 7-figure business are pulling the number out of their woo-ha. They don't even know what it means to have a 7-figure business. They don't know everything that goes along with it. That's why I did that Facebook Live. They don't have the implications of what a 7-figure business could do to them, right? It's about knowing all of the expenses that you have. So I want you to actually write down every known expense that you have in 2019. I want you to write down your projected expenses. So what are the new things that might need to be popping up? Do you need to get a new car? Will you need to get a new computer? What are the things that might be popping up for you in 2019? You got to write all of that stuff down, because once it's all written down, catch this, money has a purpose, right? Because money needs a reason to come in. So once I know what I need the money for, then the reason is there for me to manifest it, right? Matthew 7:7 says, ask and it shall be given, right? So it's when we sit down and get clear about the ask, then we can walk into all of the things that it is that we want. Number 2 is then you have to map out how you'll get there. And this is usually where people will need help. You won't know on your own what you need to do in order to be able to get to where it is that you want to be. But you're going to need to map it out, right? Because just knowing that you want to hit the number will continue to elude you. Just like in my own business, for 5 years before I hit 7 figures, I was saying I wanted to do 7 figures, but I never mapped out how I would get there. Right? Yeah, no. It's like the 2 farmers, right? One praying for rain, and they both need rain, and one is actually praying for it, and the other one went out and prepared his fields for it. There's a difference. I got that from Facing the Giants. And then you got to set up your sales and marketing management systems, right? So without the right sales and marketing management, you're going to be all jacked up. So those are the considerations that I need you to make for your business, for your sales and revenue for 2019. Get clear on your revenue goals, map out how you'll get there, and set up your sales and marketing systems, right? If you get stuck on the map out how to get there, that could be where I come in. We'll talk more about what that might look like later if you would like to schedule a call with me. All right, so let's get into the things that I want you to leave into 2018 over and above the ones I've already shared with you, right? So out of being in misalignment, I think that might be on my list actually, and not seeing yourself the way God sees you. So the first thing I need you to leave in 2018 is your fear, self-sabotage, your indecision, your inconsistency, and your lack of confidence. That has to go. It has to go. It cannot go with you into 2019. And I know it's so much easier said than done to be like, okay, how do I really get rid of my fears, right? Well, remember, fear and faith cannot occupy the same place. And God works through faith. And so when you're in faith, you're pleasing him, because the Bible says without faith it's impossible to please him, right? Fear is what makes you self-sabotage. You don't take the step you need to take. You don't, whether it's making an investment in yourself or picking up the phone, whatever you need to do to move your business forward, you don't do it because of fear, and it creates self-sabotage, right? Or indecision. Decide. You can have whatever you want. Just decide. Just decide. Being indecisive is like straddling the fence, and you cannot straddle the fence. And then being consistent. You can't be inconsistent in 2019. 2019 it can be a year that really unlocks everything that you want if you get into full surrender, and inconsistency will keep you from it. And then lack of confidence. I mean, you have to leave that. You are here. God gifted you with unique talents and abilities that only you have for a reason. You have a business that should hopefully be set up based on those gifts and talents. That means that there should be no reason for you to not be confident about what it is that you bring to the table. It's tired and it's cliche, but I know that fear is real. So let me talk to you about what I do whenever I feel fear. Because yes, I would be lying to you if I said I didn't feel fear too. I do. I feel fear. So the first thing I do when I feel fear is I stop immediately, and whatever is causing the fear, I immediately get into the present, because fear is usually in the past or in the future. It's never in the present, because nothing has happened yet. But right, we go back to the past where we remember the time when, or we go to the future where we make an assumption that. So instead of doing either of those things, I get back into the present, and then I find things to be grateful for. Because remember, the highest emotion are love, gratitude, faith, appreciation, and trust. The lowest emotion is fear. That's where the whole fear and faith cannot occupy the same place comes from. So if you're in fear and you find something to be grateful for, something to appreciate, something to love, something to trust, the fear will dissipate. The second thing you have to leave in 2018 is the wait. Y'all make me sick with the wait. I'm waiting on God. I'm waiting for it to be a full moon. I'm waiting for the dust to settle. I'm waiting for my kids to graduate from college. I'm waiting to pay off my student loans. I'm waiting. Stop waiting, right? Y'all waiting on God, but God is waiting on you. Now, I don't have my Bible, and I know we got some apostles and pastors and all up and through this call. So this is the word according to Darnyelle. I might not get the scriptures quite right. But in Deuteronomy, you were given the power to create wealth. You were given that, right? I believe it's in Philippians where, is it Philippians? No good thing will he withhold from them that walk uprightly, and he who hath begun a good work shall complete it until the day. Yeah, so if you've already been given everything you need to get wealth, stop waiting. God is waiting on you. See, so, okay. You know how the Bible says we have not because we ask not? I say we have not because we act not. Stop asking and start acting. Stop waiting. Take the actions you most need to take to get the things you most want to have. Y'all might be giving me the scripture. Hold on. I wasn't supposed to do that. Pull the next one in. No, y'all not giving me the scripture. Y'all just telling me. Yeah. So we have not because we ask, or not because we ask not. We have not because we act not. Take the action you most need to take. See, y'all think you have to have the whole answer. Write this down. The how is not my job. And here's what I mean by the how, because there is a portion of the how that is your job. But the how that keeps you stuck is God's job, right? Because you guys are waiting for all the conditions to be perfect. And God is saying, have faith enough in me to know that I've got you. And the path will emerge as you walk it. That's the how that is not your job. It's God's job. The how that is your job is to be consistent. It's to map out what you know to do, right? Because you don't have to know all of the steps, but you have to get started. I forget, I'm going to jack this quote up. You don't have to be good to get started, but you have to get started to get good. I think I said that right. I think that's a Zig Ziglar. All right. Wishy-washy, cloudy alignment or relationship with God. Again, I am not a proponent for religion. I'm a proponent for relationship. Talk to him every day, multiple times a day. Connect with him. See yourself the way he sees you. The Bible says that without vision, the people perish. Do you know seeing yourself the way God sees you is the way to bring life? Because see, we wouldn't have any fear or self-sabotage. We wouldn't be waiting on anything if we saw ourselves the way that God saw us. This right here will deliver you if you leave the wishy-washiness in 2018 and just start being in relationship with God. Just like you talk to your boo every day, just like you talk to your kids. Hold on. Sorry, I'm getting excited because I'm trying to see what y'all saying in the chat. You desire but do not have, so you kill. You covet. Oh, this is Seneca. You covet, but you cannot get what you want, so you quarrel and fight. You do not have because you do not ask God. When you ask, you do not receive because you ask with wrong motives, that you may spend what you get on your pleasures. That's a good one. So no wishy-washy. You got to leave your low rates and your lack of business acumen in 2018. Because here's the thing. You've already been given the power to create wealth, and it is through your business if entrepreneurship is what you've been called to. Some of you are in entrepreneurship, but it's not your call, and that's why you struggle. But for those of you who are in entrepreneurship, because it is your call, you've already been given everything that you need to succeed at it already. You may need help. You may need a catalyst to pull it out of you, but lowering your rates to be like everyone else, having a wide business model with a free thing and then a $7 thing and then a $47 thing and then a $97 thing and then a $297 and then a $497 and then a $997. Ooh, I'm tired. Are you tired? Yeah, that's going to take you forever. You got to leave all of that crap in 2018. You need to charge what you deserve to charge in order to make achieving what it is you want and why you have a business possible. Your gift will make room for you. Your gift is big enough for you to have a business that pays you 6 figures or 7 figures, whatever the desire is. You have that right now. But because you are misappropriating your gift, you are pimping yourself out and calling it business, you are not getting what it is that you want from your business. And you're blaming other people on it or blaming it on other people. And you need to stop that. You're going to need to leave the low rates. Get rid of the 7s and get some rates that's end in 0. But understand who you are, the problem you solve, and what it is you bring to the table for those that you solve that problem for, so that you can price yourself accordingly. Because that's really what you're going to need to do. Yes, stop pimping your gift. Stop pimping your gift. And know that, and let me say this too. It's as honorable to sell as it is to buy. Write that down. It is as honorable to sell as it is to buy. And if your gift will make room for you, and if you've been given the power to get wealth and that power lies in your gift, then your gift is the way that you're supposed to create wealth. So raise your rates. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Oh, okay. I'm going the wrong way. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. And then the last thing I want you to leave in 2018 is comparison and small thinking. There's no one like you. Leave that here. I was about to cuss. Leave it here. Leave that ish here. All of it. Leave fear, self-sabotage, indecision, inconsistency, lack of confidence, the weight, wishy-washy, cloudy alignment, relationship with God, comparison, small thinking, and low rates and lack of business acumen. Leave it all in 2018. This is what I want you to put in the comments right now in the chat. I, comma, insert your name, am leaving it all in 2018. I want you to comment that in the chat. I'm going to wait until you do it. I don't see nobody commenting. Okay, all right, now it's starting to fill up. It's for your own good to leave this stuff in 2018. It's not serving you. It's never been serving you. And it's the reason why you don't have the business that you want. It's the reason. It's a lot more of y'all on this call than have commented in the chat. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to move on because some of you did it. Those of you who don't comment, you're going to take this with you into 2019 and then be mad at this time next year when your life is exactly the same or worse. I warned you. All right, moving on. So this is the formula, right? Your thoughts equal your feelings and beliefs, which affect your actions and ultimately your results. This is it. So you think, I want to have a $500,000 business. Then your feelings and beliefs kick in. I don't know if I can really do that. I don't know anybody who has a $500,000 business. If I make that kind of money, my family's not going to love me. My man isn't going to want me anymore. I don't want him to be intimidated by my success. So then guess what? You don't take the actions you most need to take, which means you don't get the results that you first thought about. This is the cycle that most of you are living in and have been living in. This is the number one biggest mistake that you have made in 2018. So that even if 2018 was great for you, it wasn't everything it was supposed to be because of this. Because here's what I know. When your mind is playing tricks on you, it throws your alignment off. Everything. It throws your integrity. It throws your spirituality, your mindset, your quality of life, what you charge, who you attract, how you show up in your business. Everything gets thrown off. Right? This is the model of financial and spiritual abundance. This is one of the key principles that I teach at Incredible Factor University, which is my suite of coaching and consulting programs. We have a couple of different programs depending upon where you are. But the bottom line is this. It's all about this. It's about being in connection with God, right? It's about being in connection with God. Because when you see yourself the way God sees you, guess what? You're confident. And when you're confident, guess what? You will position yourself in order to experience profitability at every turn. You'll never question whether or not you should raise your rates. And if you haven't raised your rates for 2019, please do. You need to raise them. You minimally should be raising them at least once a year. Probably even more than that, because most of you are not charging enough to make achieving your goals easy. In fact, you think about what you want to earn in 2019, divided by 10. 9 times out of 10, that's what you need to be charging. Stop thinking you got to have hundreds of clients. Stop doing that. You don't need hundreds of clients. 10 really, really good clients could be exactly what you want for your business. But this is what the model on financial and spiritual abundance does for you. It gets you in connection. It allows you to show up in your mindset and your spiritual alignment so that you be who you need to be to unlock all you want to unlock, right? Then you get to learn the systems and strategies so that you're doing what it is you need to do. And it has a community that you can belong to. Because again, you do not have to choose. You can be spiritual and make lots of money. You absolutely can, right? So how are we going to do it? Be clear without apology. Stop apologizing. That should be something you left in 2018 too. Leave apology out, unless you hurt somebody's feelings. But leave apologizing for who you are, what you bring to the table, how you show up, and what you do. If you're showing up in the fullness that is you, leave apology for that in 2018, please. Be absolutely clear. It's okay to want what you want, and you don't owe an explanation to anyone. You don't owe anyone an explanation. You want to create the environment to support what it is that you are craving or what you want. So here's an example of that. If you want, let me ask, actually for the example, let me tell you what I did. So before I manifested my husband, it was a desire on my heart. And so I had to demonstrate to God that I was willing, right? You know, the Bible says if you are a master over a few things, then I'll make you a Lord over many. We learn about that in the parable of the talents, right? So I went through my whole house and I made my house ready to receive a man to share it with me. I didn't know if we were going to live in my house. It wasn't about that. It was the exercise. It was me operating in faith because God works through faith. Write that down. And so I had a 2-car garage. I emptied 1 garage stall. I had in the master bedroom, in the master bath, I had 2 sinks. I cleared out underneath 1 sink. I had 2 nightstands. I cleared out 1 nightstand. I cleared out space in the closet for his clothes. So create the environment to support what you want. Because see, some of you are saying you want to make more money. You want to have $1 million or $500,000 or even $250,000 business. But you don't have an environment that supports that because you're around negativity all day long. You might be the negativity. So you need to create an environment that supports what you want after you get clear about what it is that you want unapologetically. Then you have to shift your focus. What you focus on expands. So another reason you don't have what you want is because you're focused on what you don't have, right? What will happen if you focus on what you do have? You will open yourself up to get more of what you do have. You got to shift your focus. And then you got to give forgiveness. No one likes this. When we did the forgiveness protocol at Breakthrough last year, they were fighting with me. They did not want to forgive people who wronged them 100 years ago. Forgiveness is not for them. Forgiveness is for you. If you are operating, and I know this is in the Bible somewhere, and Seneca will probably give me the scripture because she's been hooking me up with the scriptures. But if you are harboring unforgiveness, you will not get what it is that you want. 9 times out of 10, I promise you, 90% of the time, the reason your business hasn't given you what you wanted yet is because you got some unforgiveness somewhere. One of the things I teach at Breakthrough, my event that happens in May, is the forgiveness protocol. How to run it, how to do it as often as you need to do it, how to do it when you set a new big goal so that nothing is standing between you and what it is that God wants for you. Because if you have the desires, because God put it there in the first place, when you are delighting yourself in Him. Surrender. You got to surrender. You got to throw up your hands. Okay, so the best way I ever heard about surrender was, I was listening to a podcast. I can't even tell you the guy's name, but he was talking about surrender, and he likened our need to surrender to being arrested, right? And so there's 3 phases of an arrest, right? So the cops run onto the scene and say, put your hands up, right? So when we put our hands up, that is synonymous with telling God that we have no intention to run. We are giving up, right? Then the second phase is to put your hands behind your head. When you put your hands behind your head, it gives God an opportunity to search your heart and your purpose. Just like it gives the police an opportunity to search your person to make sure you don't have a weapon. There's no way you can be pulling a gun if your hands are behind your head, right? And then the third phase, I hope you guys can see me. The third phase is when you put your hands behind your back. When you put your hands behind your back, you're finally giving permission to be taken into custody so that you can be used however it is that God will want to use you. You got to surrender. This is how. All 2019, I'm going to be working on training. I'm introducing a new podcast. I'm going to be doing a lot of work around surrender and what surrender looks like in business, because surrender is the key to success and getting what it is that you want. That is really, really the key. See, I knew Seneca would find it for me. But if you do not forgive others their sins, your Father will not forgive you. Matthew 6:15. Thank you, Seneca. I appreciate that. So leave all of that stuff in 2018, and here's how you do it. If this is blessing you, tell me in the chat that this is blessing you. So here's what I want you to ask yourself. If I remove any obstacles and listen to just my voice, what do I want unapologetically? If I remove any obstacles and listen just to my voice, what do I want unapologetically? That's the first question. Second question, what will it take for me to get all that I want if I know and believe that God is not holding anything back from me? Let me repeat that. What will it take for me to get all that I want if I know and believe that God is not holding anything back from me? And two more questions. What will it feel like to welcome these things into my life experience? What will it feel like to welcome these things into my life experience? And who do I need to forgive to ensure that I walk fully into what I want? Y'all might need to ponder on that one. But who do you need to forgive to ensure that you walk fully into all that you want? Don't let some fool from your past keep you from your future. Write that down. That was good. Don't let some fool from your past keep you from your future. Forgive them. It ain't for them. It's for you. You don't have to ever call them. You don't have to go to the grave site. You don't have to do any of that stuff, but let it go. It's not worth it. I don't know about you, but I want everything that God has for me now. I remember the story. I think Joel Osteen was the first place I heard it, where a guy gets to heaven and, you know, he's being walked around by one of the angels, and the angel stops in front of this door and says, why are we stopping here? He's like, these are all the gifts that I have for you on earth that you didn't get to open. Yeah, no, I don't want that. I want my stuff while I'm here, right? I think Lorenz Tate that said that in Love Joe. I don't have to wait for it. You can give me mine right now. I want mine right now. If you want yours right now, put I want mine right now in the chat. As we move on. I'm glad this is blessing y'all. All right. Okay. So to maximize 2019, you need to know that alignment is your lifeline. You have to focus only on victory, because when you focus only on victory, you force God to bring it to your doorstep. You force God to bring victory to your doorstep when that's what you focus on, because remember, what you focus on expands. You have to forgive your inner 7-year-old and others. So your inner 7-year-old, most of us are walking around as adults, really masquerading as 7-year-olds, because from birth to the age of 7, our conscious mind is formed based on the experiences we take in. So most of us, our conscious mind is based on what we observed from birth to the age of 7 from our parents and so forth and so on. And we are still running those tapes. That's the broken record that's playing in our minds. That's the self-sabotage that keeps us stuck. That's why our relationship with money isn't right, and we don't charge what we should charge. All of that stuff. You need to get all of that unforgiveness out of the way. You have to decide what you want unapologetically. You don't have to explain to anyone else what you want. I mean, I love vision boards, and I have a vision board, right? But not just make your vision board for you. You don't have to share it or debrief other people on it, and then become the vision board. Start to walk out the things that are on your board in advance. Let your life be the best vision board you could ever be. You have to increase your faith because God works through faith. Without faith, it's what? It's impossible to please him. And remember that God is not holding anything back from you. And everything you want is already here. And you know it's here because someone else already has it, right? If you don't let those things happen, you risk never hitting your goals, undervaluing the results that you deliver, and not fulfilling your purpose on earth. And I know that that's not what you want. That's not why you came here, right? The bottom line is this. If you don't learn how to break through, you'll burn out way before you can cash out. So how do you do that? Really quickly, I'm going to talk about what it would look like, what mentorship looks like, right? You shorten your learning curve through learning from the right mentor. It could be me. Could be. I think everyone needs a mentor. Period, right? Mentors tell us what we don't want to hear and show us what we don't want to see, also that we can become who God created us to be. With the right mentor, you'll experience accountability and real strategies that will work to shift your life and business more quickly than you ever could on your own, right? I love this quote. It's hard to see the picture, you're the frame. I learned a new one recently, which is, it's hard to read the label when you're inside the jar. So let me talk to you about how I determine who I'm going to choose as my mentors. Does the mentor have experience, right? If this is the first time you're investing in yourself, it might be good for you to know how I do this, right? So the first thing I do is I validate whether or not they have experience and have already walked a mile in the shoes that I want to wear. I also look to see if they have a viable system that I can use that will shorten my learning curve, right? The next thing I do is I ask myself, is the mentor currently doing what I want to do? I don't have time for somebody who in their heyday was making it rain in their business. I need somebody who right now has a business that is growing, that is aligning their spirituality with their business, and it's working, and it's working well for them, because that's what's important to me, right? I want to make sure they're currently doing what it is that I want to do. Third, do my values align with the mentor? This is really important to me, right? I want to know that I can trust them. I believe their character. I don't believe they're just feeding me whatever they think I want to hear. I want to know, does God speak to them? I want to know if I'm having a bad day, will they call me and pray with me like I call and pray with my clients? That's what's important to me. Fourth, I'm looking at their results. Do they get results for other people? Do they have results? Do they have clients that I can have a conversation with? Because you know, there are people who put fake testimonials on their website, right? Y'all know that. If you didn't know that, now you know. And then what will happen if I don't take the action and move forward? Will I stay in the same place? Will it take me longer to get there, or will I delay my results from happening? It's not worth it. How mentoring works, right? So here's that same formula. Your thoughts equaling your feelings and beliefs, which affect your actions and ultimately your results. If there's a disconnect between your feelings and beliefs and your results, mentorship will help you to shift your mindset so that you take the right actions so that you get the results that you crave. That's what happens, right? So I personally have invested more than $250,000 in mentoring and development. And to get what we want, we invest. We always have and we always will, whether it's a house, a car, a handbag, a pair of shoes, we invest, right? I always like to think about attorneys. I work with a lot of attorneys in my business. They go to school for 3 years and spend about $130,000 on average and come out and make maybe $160,000 a year. When you make the shifts that I'm suggesting that you make now before you go into 2019, you can earn more than attorneys earn in way less time than it took them to get their degree. If you want to shorten your learning curve, you do it by investing in mentorship. So when people come into my space, they make more money. And everything I've shared with you today is simple, but it's not easy. I maybe am even making it sound easy, but it's not necessarily easy. But there's an opportunity for you to get the help, the guidance, and the support you need to make it happen and to make it happen for you as quickly as possible. And I welcome the opportunity to do that. So now I just want you to make a choice as we round out this training. You have a choice to make. Option number one is you can take everything I just shared with you as fully and transparent as I did and try to implement it on your own. The biggest problem is I don't know about your business. Well, some of you I do, but this wasn't about your specific business. It's not customized to you and what it is that you need. So that's going to decrease the likelihood of you being as successful as you'd like to be, right? Or you can let me help you. We can jump on a call and I'll help you to get crystal clear on the step-by-step game plan that will help you to hit your income goals. It says this year, but it should really should say in 2019, because that's what we're talking about. We only have 4 more days left in this year. During the call, I'm going to help you to get clear on your goals, determine what you should be charging, and confirm that you're in the right business model. And if you're not, I will tell you. That doesn't necessarily mean that we're the right fit to work together, but I will be honest with you and tell you the truth. This call will be about 45 minutes, and it'll allow us to really walk through all of these things to see where it is you should be. But I should warn you that this is not for everyone. You should only want to have a call with me if you are absolutely incredible at what you do. You're done making excuses and playing smalls. You're leaving the stuff I recommend you leave in 2018 so that you can join me and break through in 2019. You're ready to break through in your business through taking decisive action and investing in yourself, and you're committed to doing what you need to at your highest levels. When you've been blessed like I have, what do? You pass it on. It's one of my favorite Patti LaBelle songs. And if you'd like to book a session, I'm opened up for tomorrow and next week. I've opened up my calendar to hold discovery calls with people who are really serious about seeing which Incredible Factor University programs we have. And we have some new ones. Some of you have worked with me in the past. We've got new stuff, new things that we're doing. We're always growing, evolving, and changing. If you're serious about getting guidance and support so that 2019 looks way better than 2018 did, then I welcome the opportunity for us to have a conversation. You can go to darnyelle.com/session and follow the prompts, and you will land with an opportunity to schedule a call with me. Like I said, for as early as tomorrow or next week, I've got time laid out on my calendar to have conversations with you because I really want your 2019 to be way better than your 2018 was. So there's that. Make sure you write that down. Someone put that in the chat for me because I'm going to turn the PowerPoint off so that I can come back to you live. Let me put it in here too, darnyelle.com/session. All right, so I said we will be here for 90 minutes. So we still have about 10 minutes. I know, I saw that, Nikki. Yes, I'm looking forward to us talking tomorrow. We have about 10 minutes. I'd love to take some questions if people have questions. If you know you want to have a conversation with me and you're serious about finally breaking through and getting what it is that you want, let's chat. I welcome it. Yeah. Any questions? Can I take any questions from anyone? Okay. Yep, the call is with me. Yes. Oh, so that's a good point. You guys will get to talk with me. Like I said, I cleared my calendar. So I have opened up. How do you come up with a catchy name for a workshop? Okay, so I would say don't be cute at the sacrifice of being clear. I would say make the transformation obvious from the title. That's what I would say, Aquila. So for instance, you came to scale up because the whole point of that workshop was to help you to scale up your business. So think about the transformation. So like my conference, it's not a conference, my live event experience, Breakthrough in Business, it's called Breakthrough in Business because by working on the things in your life, I'm going to get you a breakthrough in business. And I'm going to put that in the chat just in case anybody wants to go and secure their ticket for Breakthrough before the year's over. And especially because some of you might need another tax write-off. So you can go, there's a payment option right now. So you can secure your first payment or get your entire ticket. It's May 22nd through the 24th is the main event. And if you do VIP, then you can come on the 21st for a VIP session with me in a small group. So if anybody's interested in that, then that's fine. Yeah, so even Aquila for your $49 workshop, like again, don't be cute at the sacrifice of being clear. So what is the ultimate goal or transformation you have for them when that workshop is over? Excuse me, when that workshop is over, that's what it should be called. Keep it simple. Like don't make it way harder than it has to be. Any other questions? And if you have a question and you don't want to ask it in the comments, you can raise your hand and I can open your line. So let me see. Until I am signed up with your program, what will you suggest I do to get in position to make money until then? I have all those ebooks and online courses. I would say have conversations with people. Talk to people and find out what their challenges are. And if one of your products will solve their problem, then offer that as the solution to that problem. You're always, whenever you're always looking to fill the gap, right? So everyone this is where they are and this is where they want to be. Everyone has that gap. Your job is to fill the gap. Your program or your whatever is to fill the gap. So have the conversation to see what the gap is. If what you bring to the table fills the gap, then offer that as a solution. How much should I charge for the toolkits at the workshop? It cost me $30 to put together the reading toolkit. I wouldn't, so the $49 doesn't include the toolkit, or the toolkit is what happens next? I'm not clear. Okay, Shankota, I see your question. I'll open that up in a second. I'm not clear on that, Aquila. If the toolkit is covered at the workshop, then the price of the workshop should include the toolkit. If it's something you're selling at the event, then I wouldn't just charge what it costs. That's not profitable. Oh, it's what comes next. So what's the value? So if I go through that toolkit, what is it going to do for me? So you got to think about it in terms of transferable value and result. If it's something that they'll be able to use over and over and over again to get results, then that's how you want to base the price. Okay, so I have two questions here. So the first says, you've said several times that you must see yourself how God see you, but how does God see you? I think I don't know, see me or see you. Okay, so let me tell you how God sees me, and let's see if this helps you. So God sees me as beautiful, as intelligent, as an authority, as a conqueror, as a victor, as a woman after his own heart, as a transformationalist, that I'm able to help people to go to the next level. He sees me prosperous. He sees me wealthy. He sees me in abundance. He sees me healthy. He sees me looking and feeling my best at all times. He sees me lovingly in a loving relationship. He sees me transforming the world. Like, when God sees me, he smiles. And he smiles big cheese grin smile. So if you want to know how God sees you, go look in the Bible. It says you're fearlessly and wonderfully made. You are the apple of his eye. You are the head and not the tail. You are a conqueror, more than a conqueror. That's how God sees you. His word tells you how he sees you. So if you're not seeing yourself the way that his word has already told you how he sees you, that's where the misalignment is. And Shanquetta says, did I create a job description for myself? Do you set your rates comparable to your profession and living area? So I do have a job description for a CEO and for the CEO of my company and what it is that I do. Yes. And no, my rates are not based on my profession or where I live. They're based on the transferable result I bring to my clients. If you work with me and I teach you, if I give you everything that I know, that if you apply this stuff consistently in whatever time frame you set, you will generate $1 million, then I'm going to make sure that the way that I price my services is so that if you do get to $1 million, I feel really, really good about it. So I can be celebrating with you that you've done it. I'm not going to charge you $97 an hour to teach you $1 million formula. That's incongruent, right? And then, so let me tell this story. So when I was early in my business, I had a client. Her name was Chris. She was actually the very first person I took to 6 figures. And she had a 6-figure business and I did not. And I was happy for her, but not as happy as I should have been for her. You know why? Because she was making more money than I was, because I charged her $97. That was the last day I did that. So stop putting 7s on the end and stop pulling your numbers out of your woo-ha and figure out about the transferable result you bring to the table for those that you serve and charge that. People will, write this down, people will pay more than you think for the right package that has been positioned well to solve a real problem. That's why at Incredible Factor University, we teach you about solving a spice problem. Spice problems are problems that keep people awake at night. This is not like, this is not about making your ends meet. This is about having your ends exceed. That's crazy. Any last questions before I let you go? I want to encourage you, if you have not done so already, to go to darnyelle.com/session and follow the prompts to get on my calendar. But please don't get on my calendar if you're not serious. If you have no desire, if we agree that we're the right fit, if you have no desire to invest in yourself, and I want you to notice that I didn't say you don't have any money, because you can create money whenever you want. We can afford anything we want to afford. As soon as you decide you want to afford it, you are already unlocking the manifestation of it, because it's decision. Decision brings it to you every single time, right? Emerson's quote, once you decide, all of the universe rearranges itself to bring you what you decided. So if you are serious about getting guidance and support from me, then go through the process and book a call. If you're not serious, please, don't waste my time. Oh, you're welcome, Kamika. Any other questions? How long is the coaching commitment or process? It depends. It depends on what we decide is the right fit for you. I have my Business Growth Accelerator, which is a 12-week, 90-day program. My Momentum program is a 3-month program too, I think. And then my Scale and Grow is a 12-month program. So it just really depends. But I have other offerings besides those main ones. Like sometimes I do my Business Growth Weekend, which just is a 3.5-day weekend. So there's a few different options, but we should have a conversation and see what's going to be best for you. Because I don't do cookie cutter. I want to put you in the thing that's going to solve your problem and get you to the result that you want. If we decide to work together, we're partnering. So I'm in your business. I know you. I don't have so many clients that I don't know who you are, that you have to introduce yourself to me or tell me what you were wearing. Like, it's not that kind of world. I'm going to be in your business. I'm going to know your numbers. I'm going to be known what's happening. Like, we're going to be partners in this process. That's my full commitment to the people that I work with. And there are some people on here who have been my client that are currently my clients, or have been my clients in the past. I can tell you what it's like to work with me. I hope you guys enjoyed this training. Was it good? Was it good? I see all of you on here. Record numbers. Wow, this is good. Good. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So it is my prayer that you do not take that ish into 2019, that you leave it where it's supposed to be in 2018, and you go get what's been waiting for you, because God is not holding anything back from you. All right, beauties, I'm going to let you go. Know that I love you. I'm praying for you. I'm praying with you. And I'm wishing you the happiest of New Year's. For those of you who have booked a call, I'm looking forward to having a conversation with you. And those of you who didn't, then I guess I'll see you when I see you. And hopefully when I see you, you'll be different. You'll be better. You'll find a way. Like I said, we'll be talking a lot about breakthrough in the coming months. The investment is going to go up. So if you know you want to be there, I think right now it's set up on a 3-pay or a 4-pay for like $170 a payment. I would just go ahead and get your ticket. If you're not a client who already either has a comp ticket or a bonus ticket, I would just go and get your ticket. It's going to be ridiculous because I got some new stuff I'm doing this year. We'll be announcing our speakers next week. We actually might announce some tomorrow, but it's going to be amazing and fabulous and awesome and great and wonderful and incredible and all of that. So anyway, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for your time and for your attention. Oh, people raise their hands. I don't know. Crystal, do you want to say something? You raised your hand. I'm opening your line if you want to say something. I don't know why your hand is raised. Okay, maybe not. Maybe she doesn't want to say anything. Okay. All right, guys. Love you much. See you next time. Take care. We'll make the recording available at some point tomorrow.